What's up, everybody? Red Button means we're live. Some Casual Takes, episode 82, hosted by your boy, Stephen Pepper, here to casually talk sports. This episode is brought to you by no one. We get an all NBA in-season tournament Friday show. No Thursday night football. I'm going to save that for the Monday show because I want to just talk about NBA here today on this Friday. How's everyone doing? Exam week's next week for most of my college guys out there. So I hope you guys are studying and relaxing on this final Friday. Probably if you're a senior, you're final fall semester Friday. I'm a junior, so I got some time. Before we're going to talk about the Lakers Pelicans game and the Pacers Bucks game, the two NCAA tournament games. But I want to talk about this really quick. So the NBA season tournament has been absolutely great for the league. It's hard, man. It's NFL season, and it's hard to, enjoy the NBA and the NFL season. I mean, 16 million people watched Jake Browning versus Trevor Lawrence, whereas 1 million people watched Celtics Bucks the other night. Not Celtics Bucks, Celtics Pacers. But the NCAA tournament has been a great idea. It's a rare Adam Silver W. A lot more eyes are on the NBA, competitive playoff atmosphere. Because the worst thing about the NBA is the regular season just never seems like it matters, or until like March or February when football's over. So shout out to Adam Silver for getting this NBA season tournament thing figured out. There's a couple things like jerseys and courts that we kind of need to figure out, and why the hell the games are starting at 5 p.m. EST. A Vegas game is starting at 2 p.m. on a Thursday. No one's at the game. Why even Vegas in the first place? The atmosphere was absolutely dead until the Lakers game. Like the Bucks-Pacers game had 0 fans. It's fine, but the actual tournament itself was really good. So let's talk about those two in-season tournament games. The Pelicans versus Lakers. You cannot deny LeBron's greatness anymore. If you were watching the in-season tournament, like a lot of people were, because the tournament has brought eyes to the regular season of the NBA in a football-dominant December month, you saw LeBron James and the Lakers win by 40 points. You cannot deny LeBron's greatness anymore. And I don't feel sorry for you. You've had 21 years to accept LeBron James, Ramon James, full government, his greatness. You had 21 years to see it. I don't feel sorry for you if you're still on Twitter, the barber shop, your boy's house, defending a bald dude from Chicago who has no idea who you are, or you just hate this man's guts for no reason. I don't have to go through a lot of the things about LeBron James just being a W husband, a W father, building that school, putting on Cleveland and Akron. I'm just talking about his greatness on the court. 21 years to see it. And if you are still denying it, I don't feel sorry for you. Because LeBron James last night, as the Lakers won by 40 points to advance to the first inaugural in-season tournament's championship game, all eyes on LeBron. Everyone who went to Vegas, everyone who cared about the in-season tournament is watching LeBron last night. Spotlight is on. He delivered 38 and 5 on 96.6 true shooting in 22 minutes. Not only was that his most efficient game of his life in year 21, he is 39 years old in less than 30 days. Everyone's watching LeBron in-season tournament. The pressure that he has to come in this game and be the face of the league's new tournament, he delivered that in year 21. It's 40 in a year. That is insane. And I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry for you if you still deny LeBron James's greatness. When I was watching this game last night, I was thinking about this. This season of LeBron feels to me like Brady's last couple of seasons in Tampa, where it's like you got two players, GOAT-level careers. Like, what more do you want them to do? Like Brady, last couple seasons in Tampa, he already had the all-time passing yards and touchdown leaders, all those playoff records, the rings, the MVPs. Same with LeBron. Last year, broke the NBA's all-time leading score record, the greatest record in all basketball, has the MVPs, has the rings. What more do you want those guys to do? Because they have every excuse in the world to just buy a yacht, get a cigar, get a bottle of wine, and go sail and disappear from the spotlight. But instead, they didn't retire and still delivered classic moments. LeBron James, in-season tournament, semifinal, inaugural year, 38 and 5. He's 39 at the end of the month. He absolutely took over the third quarter. Like Tom Brady, after you won that Super Bowl in Tampa, had all the records. He came second in MVP the following year. LeBron absolutely took over the third quarter. I was door dashing last night. You know, I do DoorDash on the side. I'm such a busy guy, so I can't really get like a real job. Now that DoorDash is a real job, it's not really a real job unless you're working like 40 hours a week. It's just like a little gig for me to make some money. Because with my school and homework and extracurriculars and just life, social life, I can't have like a real job. So like DoorDash allows me to like make money whenever I want. So when I was watching it, LeBron James that third quarter, he hit 3 straight threes. You said logo threes. I absolutely screamed. I was delivering an order. I was in some like alleyway too. It was really sketchy. I was delivering an order, and I absolutely screamed when he hit those 3 straight threes. LeBron James, dude. I mean, if you see, I think it's not hard to tell that I'm a huge LeBron fan. Poster here, jersey here. I was so happy last night for LeBron, man. It makes me feel happy. He absolutely took over the third quarter, and just like LeBron and Brady. See, like, it's crazy to think, like, LeBron James, these last 2 games, playing against Kevin Durant, who's still playing at a high level, Booker, B.I., Zion, all in their primes. LeBron was the best player on the floor. He's teammates with Anthony Davis, a top 10 talent in basketball, the best defender in basketball, and LeBron is the best player on his team. Just like Tom Brady went on a Super Bowl run playing against Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. And in Tampa Bay, he also faced a bunch of top 10 quarterbacks too. And for the majority of the season, Tom Brady was the best player on the field. And they're in their 40s. You know, it's funny how they also played the Pelicans, LeBron did, in the game last night because they featured a guy named Zion Williams. And they were still trying to push that narrative last night. I noticed Reggie Miller kind of brought it up. But I'm old enough to remember when Zion was drafted to the Pelicans out of Duke. And that very first year, especially when they played the Lakers in that first game in New Orleans, you guys remember that game, the media hyped up Zion so much. I can't believe Zion's in year 5 now. I don't think he'll ever do it. But not saying Zion's not a good player, but I remember they hyped up Zion to basically be the next LeBron. They still said it last night in the telecast, like Zion's the future. But they hyped up Zion. Remember the Zion hype? Remember that? Zion was supposed to take the keys from LeBron and be the face of the league. Zion's in year 5, LeBron's almost 40, and LeBron's still better than Zion Williamson. How? Dude, if you were to go back to 2018, he's drafted 2019. If you were to go back to the 2019 draft and say 5 years from now, which it will be at the end of the 2024 season, 5 years from now, because a lot of people do like after a draft, like NBA in 5 years, what it'll look like. I think everyone and their mom says Zion Williamson is a top 5 player and LeBron James is not in the top 10. And LeBron's still better than Zion. Listen, I get the LeBron hate if you are a Celtics, Bulls, Warriors fan, he was beating all your teams. I get the LeBron hate there. Or I get the Brady hate if you're a Colts, Jets, Giants fan. But these last couple of years of their career, Brady's already retired. But for LeBron's last couple of years, you better appreciate him now before he retires, because just like Brady, you should appreciate him when he was in Tampa, because when they do all retire, you'll never, ever see someone like this again. Bron and Brady, the best players in each of their sports, dominating from year 1 to year 21 at a high level, winning championships, setting records at 40. You'll never, ever see that again. You'll never see someone like Brady or LeBron James again. Like, what are you going to do? Your son is sitting on your lap in the chair, and he says, "Hey, Dad, how was Bron?" Or "How was Brady?" What are you going to do? "Oh, I hate his guts." You want to be that grumpy dad? When your kid, who probably was, saw something on TV or read a book or a magazine about LeBron James or Tom Brady, and he wants to hear, "Dad, hey, Dad, I know you grew up and watched LeBron. Hey, Dad, I know you were alive to see LeBron James," because I used to do that to my dad, like, "Hey, Dad, how was Bird? How was Magic? How was MJ?" I used to do it to my dad, and my dad had so many great stories to tell about those all-time greats. I had pictures of Bird, Magic, Jordan in my room to this day from my dad, because he'll tell me all those great stories. There's no way you're going to be that grumpy dad who, says, "Oh, I hate LeBron's guts. I hated Brady's guts." No way. No way. 38-5 last night, 96.6 true shooting in 22 minutes. You had 21 years to accept LeBron's greatness. Just with Brady. How long did Brady play? Like 20, 21 years, something like that, till he was like 44 years old. You had 21 years for LeBron and Brady to accept their greatness. If you hate on them, I don't feel sorry for you, because they're giving you these bonus games, these classic games, I don't feel sorry for you. Okay, Pacers Bucks. So like I said, this in-season tournament has been great for the NBA. It's brought all these eyes to the in-season tournament. The regular season basketball has been a great atmosphere. All eyes on the NBA regular season for the first time, I don't even know, forever. But no player has benefited more from the tournament than Tyrese Haliburton. Of course, the NBA in-season tournament has been great for the league, but no player has benefited more than Haliburton. Because think about Haliburton's career for a second. College ball at Iowa State. Iowa State, fine program. It's not JUCO, it's D1. But the player spotlight at Iowa State doesn't come close to a Duke or Kentucky. Then 11 guys in the NBA draft are ahead of him, and then he goes to Sacramento Kings, where no one watches him, just like in Iowa State. Why? Because the Kings, small market, bad organization, not on national television. And he was also playing behind De'Aaron Fox, which doesn't help. Then a couple of years later, he gets traded to a similar situation to Indiana, where small market team, poor record, no national television games. But this time he's not playing behind a De'Aaron Fox, so he has room to develop. But again, no one really saw that. And then he goes on to FIBA, but his development led him to get a spot in FIBA. But FIBA's weird because, it's not the stage as the Olympics. The games come on at weird times for Americans, and we got embarrassed. So not a lot of people were watching Haliburton and FIBA. But now with this in-season tournament, million people watch Celtics Pacers national television game. We just saw in these past two games of the Pacers, Tyrese Haliburton go for 53 points, 28 assists, no turnovers on national television. We're seeing right in front of our very eyes, Tyrese Haliburton become, to most people, one of the premier offensive juggernauts in the league. Exposure absolutely matters. Everyone knew that Tyrese Haliburton coming in the season was a fine player. But if he were to average what he's doing right now, like 26 and 10 on Indiana, and they had like a mid record and they had no national television games, what's the national discourse on Tyrese Haliburton? Check your social media feed. I think every sports page had like 8 Tyrese Haliburton posts. You wouldn't get that on a normal Tuesday if it wasn't an in-season tournament game. You still don't think exposure actually matters for players, and you just think I'm a casual? Look at Anthony Edwards. I think Tyrese Haliburton and Anthony Edwards are on the same tier. I think Tyrese Haliburton might be averaging the same amount, might be averaging better stats. But the national conversation with Anthony Edwards is way higher than Tyrese Haliburton before that game last night. Why? Because unlike Tyrese Haliburton, Anthony Edwards was the number 1 overall pick, not the 12th pick. Anthony Edwards has had multiple playoff series all on national television to show off his skill set, and he was even in an Adam Sandler movie on Netflix. But, if you were to say who's better, Tyrese Haliburton or Anthony Edwards, I think they're about on the same tier. Guys who are top 20 NBA players, very, very elite guys, who be number 1 options on team and make the playoffs. Guys who'd have games like this. But the conversation today, before last night, was all Anthony Edwards, no Tyrese Haliburton. And I think if you were to ask people, who's better, Anthony Edwards or Tyrese Haliburton before last night, they would probably say Ant. Everyone would say Ant. Now, you could still say that Ant's a better player, which is fine. This is not supposed to be who's better, Ant or Haliburton segment. But it's like if you ask that question again today, after back-to-back games on national television, combining 53 points, 28 assists, no turnovers, you'll definitely have more people saying Haliburton because of the exposure. Exposure absolutely matters. We are in a football season, ladies and gentlemen. We're in December. The NFL, college football, no one gives a crap about the NBA season in December. Not until February, where the NBA has more primetime slots where people absolutely care. So, the only NBA conversation right now is the Lakers, Warriors, the biggest markets, not small market Indiana. No one can. If Tyrese Haliburton was going to do this on a random Tuesday on the 22nd game of the regular season in mid-December, no one's going to talk about it. But he did this on national television. Even when Thursday Night Football was on, people saw it. Tyrese Haliburton, he's a really good player. I'm not saying that people didn't think Tyrese Haliburton wasn't any good. Obviously, even the casuals knew Tyrese Haliburton was a fine player. But the fact that he was able to do this, he came out of college basketball from Iowa State, not the premier program for player spotlight. He goes 12th overall. A lot of people, he was kind of slept on in the NBA draft. I know 12 is still a lottery pick, but look at the talent. Look at the talent that was taken above him. He should have went a little higher, but no one really watched him. At Iowa State, goes to Sacramento. No one's really watching him. Behind De'Aaron Fox, goes to Indiana. No one's really watching him. FIBA, we got embarrassed. No one's really watching the 6 a.m. FIBA games where we're losing by 20 points. And now this in-season tournament game, national television, primetime slot. Everyone's watching. 1 million people saw Tyrese Haliburton have 20 and 13 against the Boston Celtics in a semifinal. That, or a quarterfinal, that is what exposure matters. Anthony Edwards, say what you want about who's better, who's not. But all I know is the conversation with Anthony Edwards is a lot louder before last night than Haliburton's conversation because of the amount of exposure opportunities Anthony Edwards had over Tyrese Haliburton. But now with Haliburton, tournament's been great for the NBA. It has absolutely been great for the NBA. It has. But I don't think any other player has benefited more than Tyrese Haliburton because of the exposure the tournament can bring to a player like him. Small market, small school, not a premier superstar. NBA doesn't promote him that much. They will now. And it's because of the tournament. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Short show today. Some Casual Takes episode 82. I'll be back Monday to talk about the Sunday night football games that we're going to see on that slate. But until then, follow the social media. Some Casual Takes. Everything is the same. That's the username. Some Casual Takes. TikTok kind of back to popping now. I appreciate everyone for running up the likes there. But until Monday,